Hello, everybody. Welcome to ZBTR TV. It is Saturday, June the 22nd. I trust you're having a wonderful weekend, and those of you in the parts where they are celebrating or experiencing the summer break, you are having a good summer. Do join us, tell a friend. ZBTR TV is live, and follow us on social media, Facebook, YouTube, and X. It's the same, ZBTR TV. Just search for it and you're going to be able to find us. We have an exciting show for you today. Like a friend of mine said, it's a family affair. So we're going to be talking to Lwito, who is our second daughter. She's going to be talking to us about how she turned her passion into her career. Hi, Lwito.
Hi, Dad.
Oh, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Are you enjoying your summer break?
Yes. Well, I'm graduated now, but yeah.
Okay, that's good. Everything going all right?
Yep, it is.
You ready for this?
I'm ready.
People say we are twins. What do you think? Are we twins? Everybody watching, are we twins?
I kind of see it a little bit.
You kind of see it a little bit? Okay. So let's begin. Let me start by asking you this question. What do you think about this trend of people pursuing their passions as a career? Where does it come from? Where did it start from? I mean, could you talk to us about that?
Um, I feel like it's always been a thing to turn your passion into a career if you have
Mm-hmm.
enough courage to do it. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like anybody's capable of doing it. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are kind of just, I guess, scared to really just go after the things that they want. But I think now in this day and age,
Mm.
it's becoming a little more common, I guess, to just go after the things you want and you don't necessarily have to work a 9 to 5 if you don't want to.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, that's a kind of the trade thing that is happening now. All right, let's get to tell us about your passion and at what stage did you decide that this wasn't just going to be something that you love doing, but it will be your career?
So, my passion is food. I've always loved food ever since I was 8 years old. I think that's when I started cooking, when I was 8 years old.
Mm,
Um, and I just started, I used to be on YouTube a lot. This is when YouTube first came out and it was a big thing. And I would just watch all these chefs and influencers. They weren't called influencers at the time, I guess YouTubers that were
mm,
just cooking and that was their job. So
mhm,
something in me just clicked like, I think around high school, like I can do this for a living. So I started doing research on schools that offered that major of hospitality and culinary arts and things of that sort. And that's kind of just how I decided. I've always wanted to be a chef, though.
Oh, okay. So when you say your passion is food, what are you saying? You're talking about cooking?
Cooking, baking, eating, anything that has to do with food. I love it. So, mhm,
That's interesting. All right. That's how it started. Huh?
yeah.
So at what stage how did that conversation go with because you have one older sister, right?
Yes, I do.
So I want you to tell everybody watching how that conversation went with your sister and your mom.
Okay, with my sister. I don't think it was really a conversation. It was more so just like Lwito loves to cook. She's the chef of the family. If we're hungry, she'll make something. And
Mm,
then as I got older, it was like, okay, she's actually kind of serious about this. And my
mm-hmm,
mom was just always, well, both of my parents, one is sitting right here, but they were always just really supportive of our dreams. They never told us, oh, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer, because that's kind
mm,
of common in African homes. But
mm,
I was blessed enough that whatever dreams we had, they've always supported them. My mom would let me cook dinner sometimes. She would ask me, oh, like, what did you watch on YouTube today? I'll go
mm,
buy the ingredients. And she still does that to this day. If I want to experiment something, she's
mm-hmm,
always supported me. Well, both of them have always supported me in that way.
mm. So you've touched on something which is prominent or prevalent in African families, so to speak, about parents demanding their children to be doctors, lawyers, engineers, mention it, the list goes on.
Right.
Um, do you have friends who've gone through things like that?
Yes, I have actually one friend. He's in the same industry as me.
Mm-hmm,
His parents are very, I wouldn't say strict, but they have the expectations of you need to go to school, do this, this, and that. But he has made his career and he's very successful in the industry as well. And he is a full time influencer. So it's really possible if you just set your mind to it and just
mm-hmm,
show them that you're serious. I would just encourage anybody, like, you don't have to be what your parents are saying, but just stick to it and
mm-hmm.
definitely show them that you're serious.
How does that your serious work or look like? Because that's where it becomes a little bit tricky and difficult, and it tends to strain some relationship with parents. How does that look like?
Right. So I would say my parents always supported my dreams, but they still value education. They were very serious about that. So I did go to school. I have a bachelor's degree in hospitality administration. So it's
Mm-hmm,
not just we're going to school and making spaghetti. Like, I had to take business classes, I had to take finance classes, human resources classes. So I would say if they're setting a standard for you, at least meet them halfway. If education is something that's important to you, well, important to them, then
mm-hmm,
go to school, but go to school what you want to go to school for, and show them that this can be a career. This, I can make a living off of this.
mm-hmm. Okay, okay. So it's one thing to have a passion about something, and I think it's the most important thing is how do you navigate that process of mastering your destiny, if I may say that, like, right? So what you are passionate about, because you eventually went to SFA, right?
Hmm.
Which is SFA is what, Stephen?
Stephen of Austin University.
Yeah, which is in Nacogdoches. A lot of people confuse it for University UTA Austin, two different things.
Oh no, it's
Um,
Austin.
yeah,
Yeah.
the reason I'm making this point or trying to draw this question is that because one has to understand that acting is to Hollywood, right? And
Hmm.
probably, or New York. Now we have studios all over. Tyler Perry has a studio in Atlanta. And then fashion is to New York, of course, and California or Hollywood,
Hmm.
whichever you prefer. So, in how does one navigate their destiny in the passion in something that you are passionate about? How do you navigate your destiny?
Well, I would say we're in a very privileged time of the internet. So just doing your research, getting online and doing your research. I had a great counselor in high school that
Mm-hmm.
really highlighted SFA for me because I didn't even know that SFA offered hospitality classes.
Mm-hmm.
When people say, "Oh, if you want to be a chef, you should go to France." France is actually the highlight of the world
Okay.
for food because
Mm.
a lot of culinary terms come from French words. Yeah, it's a very French dominated industry when you're
Mm-hmm.
learning in school. But these days, anywhere has a culinary school if you just do your research and really learn what is best for you.
Mm. Okay. So it doesn't matter. You just need to find a school. But there is this concept that certain schools are good at certain things. How does that matter? Like you said, France, but somebody can't afford to go to France.
Yeah, that's true. I guess just looking at what's best for you because I actually took a non-traditional route because some chefs don't believe you even need to go to university, but I just wanted the background of having the actual hospitality degree and not just going to a culinary school.
Mm-hmm.
So just figuring out what you want to do in life. Like, what's your main goal in life? Do you want to own a restaurant? Do you want to just be an influencer? Do you just want to learn how to cook? It just really depends on what you're looking for and how far you want to go into that.
That's a very interesting point that you raise because the word I've heard you mention the word influencer so many times. So
Right.
people who are influencers, what if we may learn, some of us come from
Hmm.
way back in time. So when you say influencer, what are you saying? They are influencers in different areas or categories?
So I would say an influencer or a content creator is somebody who gets online and just inspires someone else to do something. You can make recipes, you can make fashion videos, you
Hmm.
can be a musician, and people make a career out of being an influencer these days.
Hmm.
So, yeah, just that I wouldn't say that's a not as credible avenue to go in, but it's definitely a new avenue to go in any industry these days.
Mm. Okay, interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, we're speaking to Lwito. She's sharing with us about how she turned her love for food, for cooking, into a career. We shall take a break and we'll be coming back right away. Hi, welcome back, and I hope you're enjoying the show. We're talking to Lwito. She's talking about how she changed or turned her passion for food, for cooking, into a career. Lwito, you named your business company as, I hope I'll say this right, Kitchen Mouse,
Muse, kitchen
Kitchen
muse.
Kitchen Muse. Okay. Any significance in the name? How did you come up with that name?
Well, my friend gave me the idea of the name, and a muse is like in a force or just something that inspires you to create art. Kind of like when you go to an art class and they have a model standing there and then you just
Mhm.
paint whatever you see. So I feel like the kitchen is my muse because it inspires me to create.
Oh wow. Mm.
Mhm.
Any personalities, any figures, chefs out there, or people, individuals that inspire you?
Um, yes, actually, I don't know their particular names, but I do watch this YouTube channel that highlights different chefs, and there have been a few African ones actually that aren't too far off from my age,
Mm-hmm.
and they use their culture that they grew up learning, and they transform it into like a high end. quality of food that is it's really nice. So those people inspire me. My friends inspire me. Ty Sule, he's in the industry. He really inspires me. Um, and yeah.
Okay. That's good. All right. I want to show some of the things that you do, and please tell us what these the plates or whatever the language is, and
Okay.
tell us what it is. Okay. These are some of the things that you have done. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so this is a lemon shrimp scampi that I created for this series of 14 days of Valentine Day meals. And
Mm-hmm.
it looks complicated, but it's actually very easy. I would say literally like 6 or 7 ingredients go into this meal.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned that you did it for, say that again, Valentine what?
A Valentine's Day series to impress your Valentine.
Oh, wow. So you do some dishes or some meals for specific events and specific occasions on the calendar, right?
Yeah, so just to like really engage my audience, whatever is going on
Mm-hmm.
in that time of year, or whatever's trending. Sometimes I hop on trends, but also as an artist you don't want to hop on every trend because you do want to stay authentic to your true art and what you actually are passionate about. But yeah,
Okay.
this was just a little Valentine's Day.
This is just a little Valentine's thing. Okay, let's
Mhm.
move on. And this?
This is some homemade ravioli that I rolled out, and I created the dough to be pink because this was also part of the Valentine's Day series. And I don't know if you were able to tell, but they're hearts. So yeah, it
Yes,
was
they are
beautiful.
hearts. Mm-hmm. They are
Yes.
hearts. Okay. So this is your thing. You originated this?
Yes. So I just looked up, well, I didn't look up, but in school, you learn the basic procedures to do things. So we did
Mm.
have a lesson on pasta and how to create that from scratch. So just from those techniques and procedures that I remember, and then I created my own pasta and just dyed the dough red, and I made my own filling with ricotta, lobster, parmesan, and a couple other things. It was really good. But this is also very simple as well.
Okay. All right. Interesting. All right. Let's go to the next one. Mm-hmm.
So this is a dish that I made in school. I actually won Top Chef. We used to do a competition every class, and whatever our chef liked the best, he would place it as Top Chef. But this is actually a very popular dish right now. It's birria tacos with the consomme, but
Mm-hmm.
I made my consomme a little thicker and a little heartier because I wanted to put that African influence of like a stew with my
Mm.
tacos so it's more filling. And yeah, it was really good.
It's really good. Okay. Is it very popular?
I would say, yeah, it's a little popular because people were ordering it in the restaurants and stuff, and then they wanted to learn how to make it on their own. So yeah, it's kind of a popular dish right now, I would say.
Interesting. Okay. Let's go to this one. This will probably be the last one. What's this?
Oh, I did something I made at school as well. I also won Top Chef for this. I don't remember the exact lesson it was, but I believe that's tilapia with some kind of sauce and rice and peas at the bottom.
Okay. So if people want to order these things, what do they need to do? Oh, before we go to that question, I want you to explain what was this was you in school. Like you said, you did different things in school. You learned finance, you learned hospitality, you learned management, and so what was going on here? This was in school.
Yes, so this was actually my last semester of my senior year. Before you graduate, if you're not even if your major is culinary, if your major is hospitality, you are encouraged to take different courses. But since my focus was culinary, uh, this was one of our advanced classes. So we would wake up very early and basically run a restaurant for the whole
Mm,
semester. Throughout the week, we would plan the menu and what exactly we wanted to serve. And each student in the class had a chance to be head chef, house manager, a server, a
Mhm.
busser, and line cooks. So this was my week to be the head chef. I got to create my own menu. I got to assign stations to all of my classmates. And these were people that were just telling me how they enjoyed the meal. And at the end of the day, I had to go to every table and just
Mhm.
introduce myself as the head chef of the day and ask how everybody liked their meal. And yeah, it was a stressful day, but it kind of gives you an insight on how the restaurant works from the inside out because you have to work every role in the restaurant throughout the semester. But
Yes.
it was a
Yes.
very rewarding day and it was really fun.
Mm, mm. So when you go from table to table and introduce yourself as the head chef, how does that conversation go? How did that conversation? How were the conversations with the guests?
Right. So it would be some local people from the neighborhood. Some of them were staff from the university, and my parents also got to travel and come out that day. So it's kind of just like, "Hi, my name is Lwito Nkhama. I was the head chef of the day. How did you enjoy your meal?"
Mm,
And usually, it was a pretty good response. Some people did have some critiques, though. Not everybody is going to be satisfied with what you do, but for the most part, they enjoyed what I did
okay,
in
so can
creating
you
food.
talk about some of the criticism that you got that day?
Right. So my school is in East Texas, um, and it's actually the oldest town in Texas,
Mm-hmm.
Nacogdoches, Texas. So I guess my chef always had the critique of, I know you like to eat healthy and like you have your own cuisine, but in East Texas, we like salt. Like we like salt, we like seasoning. So he would
Mm,
always tell me like, just make it like if it's salty to you, just make it a little bit more salty for the average East Texas resident because you do also need to know your market for the area that you're in. So
yes,
if they
yes.
like things a little bit more salty and it's too salty to me, I just have to accommodate that and
Mm-hmm.
be mindful of who I'm serving in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And another critique I had for that day was I served a crawfish and artichoke bisque chowder type thing. And someone was like, "This was really good, but I wish I had some kind of bread to soak it up." So
Okay.
just little things like that you
So
have to be,
that like
yeah.
the criticism sort of is a learning process or educational process as well,
Yeah.
right? You are
Yeah.
learning from your customers what they are looking for.
And
Mm,
everybody's not going to love what you make, but if they're going to be buying your food and they're going to be supporting you, you do have to take into consideration, okay, like this is still my art. This is what I created, but how can I make it better so more people can buy and invest into it?
interesting. Okay. Do you specialize in any type of foodstuffs or you can cook anything? Are there menus potential customers can choose from?
So I'm very passionate about Afrofusion, basically incorporating my Zambian and African culture into the food that I'm making. That's also
Mm,
another thing that really helped me stand out at school because that was not very prominent in the area that I was in, like
mhm,
Afro Caribbean food. So I do specialize in that, but I'm a trained professional, so I can pretty much make anything.
mhm,
Um, and yeah, I'm also a pastry cook as well. I've been really tapping into my baking and pastry. I've been making cakes for any occasion. So at that, oh, right here, at this, oh, wait, no, this one. At this
mhm,
location on Instagram or Facebook, you can reach out to me for catering, plates, date nights, meal preps. I do healthy cooking as well, vegan, gluten free. And yeah.
Okay, interesting. Since you mentioned cakes, I want to show the people watching this. Let's see. Okay. What What type of cake is that?
So that was just a vanilla heart cake for a birthday, but she wanted it to be dyed black.
To be dyed black. Oh wow,
Mhm.
interesting. Okay.
When
Is
I was younger, we would do it that way too, but when she turned 24, yes, that was a 24th birthday, and he wanted it to be Kobe Bryant inspired, so I made it purple, and it was a
uh
two-tiered chocolate cake.
did you say Kobe Bryant?
Hmm.
So meaning what?
Well, he
Since
was just like,
Kobe's number was 24, right?
yes, and he was turning 24, so
Okay.
yeah.
And then the
Mhm.
colors were Lakers shirt.
Yes, the purple and
Mm, okay.
mhm.
Interesting. So when people want to make orders or do special things, they can get in touch with you. You can basically do anything. Like you said, you're not restricted to what you can and what you can't do, right?
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
So everybody watching, if you want to get Lwito to do anything for you, that's our email, christinkama@yahoo.com. We shall leave it there. Um, you you are a Christian, and
Mhm.
every industry comes with its own challenges and its own difficulties and its own demands. Can, can you talk about what challenges you faced in this industry as a Christian?
Right. So if you watch any kind of show or movie about chefs, like they're kind of scary. So
Mm,
you kind of just have to create that tough skin without your heart hardening towards other people. Um, and it's a very strenuous environment as well. A lot of people have addictions. You're there sometimes from 1 p.m. to 2 in the morning. So you're
mm,
tired. Like you're with these people all day. It's very common for people, to drink. If you've watched any show, cocaine is the prominent drug in the restaurant industry because it gives you energy, like you can get through the day.
oh,
So
wow.
people would offer me cocaine at work in these restaurants, and it's very normalized, but it was scary. I'm like, people do cocaine for real? It's scary. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just you in any industry, especially any entertainment industry, you're gonna run
Mhm,
into those things. So it's just very important to already have healthy habits, um, and be strong in your faith and your morals. Not even just through vices and stuff. People
mhm,
would sometimes we would talk about religion, and some people just really didn't care for God. They didn't believe in God. Someone even told me that we're gods ourselves, like we're God. You have the power within yourselves. I was
mhm,
like, what is going on? This is crazy. But like I said, just being strong in your morals, creating those healthy habits. I even struggled myself. I wasn't into cocaine or anything like that, but working those long hours, there was one day I drank 2 Red Bulls in a day. And I
mhm,
was like, whoa, this is too much. Like, I may not be addicted to cocaine, but I'm creating those bad habits that are not healthy for my body. So I
mhm,
really just had to step back and be like, okay, maybe I should start taking vitamins, like, eating more, because you also get into the habit of just eating once a day because you're so
mhm,
busy. Sometimes we don't get breaks within our shift.
mhm.
So, yeah, it was a struggle, but just really taking a step back and remembering that your body is a vessel and to make sure you're taking care of it.
What is the importance or significance of having, let's say, a mentor or somebody you talk to, a go-to person about these things? I mean, somebody offering you drugs, that's a very serious thing. So, how do you handle that? Just about, not apart from just you putting your foot down or saying, I'm standing my ground. What is the significance of opening up to somebody and having that conversation?
I think it's important just so they can encourage you and remind you why you're in that place,
Mm,
and maybe even reconsider, am I supposed to be in this place in this point in my life? Like, do I need to go somewhere else? And having a second opinion to really give you clarity.
mhm,
because it really wears you down. Like if you're not weak-minded, but you're just burnt out, you're tired because you're working so many days, it can be easy to just be like, well, maybe I do need to try this. But just having someone to hold you accountable and to lift you up and encourage you.
Mm. So before we wind up and ask our last question, anybody wants to get in touch with you, that's the address, right?
Yep.
All right. And your email address as well.
Yes, sir.
Email address. Okay. So for those, we are, you live in Dallas, Texas. So it's
Hmm.
to do, I know you've done events in Dallas, you've done catering for, was it a kitchen or it's a baby shower or something like that?
Hmm.
You do those events.
Yes.
Okay. So now for those outside of Dallas and the state of Texas for that matter, how does it work to hire you? We have Uncle John's Casonso somewhere. I don't know that it's in Denver or Idaho. We have Auntie Tinta in Florida. You have Auntie Priska up there in Maryland. They want you to do an event for them. How does it work?
Well, first we would just have to establish what event it is,
Uh-huh.
and also giving your chef enough time to really plan. I think a lot of people are very kind of underestimate the time people need to really
Hmm.
execute something well. So just planning enough in advance. I would prefer 3 months if it is out of state, so we
Okay.
can discuss like travel accommodations, what we're gonna be serving that day, how many people, and things of that sort. So the main thing would just be getting in contact and giving enough time in advance to plan for it.
Okay, that's good. So it's important that they give you, you said 3 months at minimum, so
Yes,
that
at least.
at
Hmm.
least 3 months.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Because you know your Zambian people, they'll call you 2 weeks before the event.
Yes.
It's not gonna work, right?
Yes, not gonna work.
That's for those out of state for
Yeah,
3 months.
out
And
of
what
state.
about those within the Dallas Metroplex and those in Texas for that matter?
Within Texas, if it's just like a simple date night or something like that, at least a week or 2 weeks in advance. Or if it's an event, at least a month for like over 15 people, like at least a month in advance.
At least a month, at least.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, so, what's your final word to somebody watching? They have a passion and they've been struggling what to do with it and all those kind of things.
I would just say keep going. Like, I know it's hard. The job market right now is very hard as well, but don't wait on someone to hire you to really follow your dreams. Even now with social media, I didn't even like creating videos in the beginning. It was really hard for me. I still struggle with consistency now, but just put yourself out there because you never know. Even reach out to brands, celebrities in your area, um, that may be looking for someone in your market or whatever you advertise to do. And you never know where it may take you.
Excellent. All
And
right.
invest in yourself.
Mm, all right. Okay.
But Daddy, I actually have a couple questions for you because this is kind of like a Father's Day type edition. Like Father's Day just passed, and you're a dad, I'm your daughter. So I have a couple questions for you before we're
Okay.
done.
Okay.
We're going to take it back to 1997, 27 years ago, when you
Mm.
first gave birth to Natasha. My first question is, what were those first few days of fatherhood like for you? Not
Mm.
years, first few days, if you
First
could
few
remember.
days,
Yeah.
I was so excited. I
Really?
was so excited. If you told me you're gonna ask me questions, I should have shown a picture of me holding Natasha when she was a baby. I was so
Yeah.
excited. You know how excited I was? I
Um,
went to work. I went back to work that week, I remember, and
mm.
I made an announcement to everybody, and I said, "You're no longer going to call me Mr. Nkama, you're going to call me Natasha." That's what I did.
Oh,
That's
she's
how
gonna love to
excited.
hear that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Next question.
Next question.
Uh,
What's your favorite memory of us?
Of you guys?
Yeah, of us as a family or just me and you, doesn't matter.
Hmm. There are so many of them. Let me see. My favorite times is when we go away from home, if I may say that. We go away from the house, we go out of town, and it's just the four of us.
That's nice.
Those are some of my favorite times, and I enjoy it when it's just the four of us, and we're having a conversation, we are laughing, we are like we're taking a walk and sightseeing. Remember when we went to San Antonio? I
That was
like
fun.
that. Yeah, I like that. It was just my favorite times are just when it's just the four of us.
Me too. Last question. So, we're talking about investing in your passion and really just going after what you love. You've invested into this show for years. So, what do you hope people take away from listening in throughout the years that you've done this? Whenever you do decide to stop or like pass it on to somebody else, what do you hope people took away from this show?
What I hope for people to take away from this show is how impactful it has been, it is, and it continues to be by the information that we share on this platform, the topics that we discuss, the
Hmm.
things that we bring out concerning our great nation, Zambia. Although there's a lot of foolishness trying to run the country into the ground, but we are not going to let that happen. So that's what I would like people to remember or to take away from this, that we take that bold step to address things that people are afraid of doing.
Hmm.
That's what I want. And I look forward to somebody taking over. You should probably take over this
Yeah.
this from me because you know I just celebrated my 60th, right?
Yes, you did.
So I'm
60 is
getting.
not old though.
No, I don't feel old. I'm not old. Remember the message Bishop Ado sent me, my video clip. He said, "Don't let anybody tell you you are old."
Yeah, you still have a few more years on here. You're good.
Yeah,
Still
thank you,
yourself.
thank you, thank you, thank you, thank
Hmm.
you. Uh-huh.
Well, that's my last question. Thank you for having me on.
That's all right. Great, great stuff. I appreciate you doing this, everybody that has been or was watching. If you want to get in touch with Lwito, that's what? That's your social
Just
media hand.
Instagram, yes.
That's Instagram. You're not on TikTok.
I am on TikTok. It's my name.
It's your name,
Yeah.
just
If you
Lwito.
say my name, you'll be able to find me too.
Okay, just go to face all those, and that's the email. If you want to reach out to her for you to cater for an event or do anything that you want her to do. So that's our show for today. Thanks, Lwito. I had so much fun with this. Hope you enjoyed it too.
I did.
Mhm. All right, baby girl. Love you.
Okay, love you too.
All right, everybody. That was our show. How Lwito turned our passion into our career. And we want to encourage each one of you. Stay on your course, stay on course, and embrace what you love to do. And to those of us who are parents like me, please, the world has changed. Don't force your kids to be lawyers or doctors or engineers if they don't love it or it's not in them. I'm not trying to pick a fight. I'm just trying to encourage you. There are YouTubers there making 10, 20, $30,000 per week. Trust me. Encourage your kids to do what they love to do. All right, everybody. We shall see you next week.
Zambia Blog Talk Radio.